this side, closer to our brothers, inshallah. Omar, you could leave the chair back. You don't need the back support. Come inside. Abu Halawa.
MashaAllah. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, and may Allah bless you for your time and effort being here inshallah in Masjid Abu Huraira. May Allah bless you for your family in health and wealth. Ameen. My name is Brother Ala Sayyid. It's an honor for me to share these moments with you. Jazakumullah anna khaira. The topic we're going to talk about is eternal home and the journey we have to take with the soul to end up in one way or the other. May Allah protect us from the hellfire and grant us Jannah. Ameen. So I want you to think that you've had a rough day, maybe a rough week, rough month. You know what? Rough year. Your job is giving you a hard time. Your boss is a direct threat. And your spouse is making you lose your hair, your children driving you up the wall, the bills you cannot take anymore, and so on and so forth. I want to take the break. So you go online, you look for a vacation that's halal enough, it looks good, I can afford it, book it. And you receive an email, congratulations, itinerary confirmed. Then you open the link for details. It says, please do not pack your luggage. You don't need them where you're going. Oh, by the way, it's a one-way ticket. You're not coming back. Your destination is unknown. Your captain is the angel of death. Duration from here to eternity. Your accommodation 6 feet beneath the ground. Your host is Munkar wa Nakir. On the menu, 3 questions. How would you feel if you received that email? It'll wake you up real quick, doesn't it? Of course it will. So what makes you fear death? What is it exactly that you're afraid of? What's the hurdle that's holding you back? Do you have your GPS tuned? Do you know where you're going? Do you have a partner to guide you to the right path? What environment are you raised in? And what company do you keep? If you die tonight, are you ready for that? If you put your head on the pillow tonight, are you ready not to raise it back up again? So let's take you for another one. You know, the ayah in Surah Ali Imran is a good remembrance for us, a good reminder. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب أولي النهى أولي العقول. إن توكيد نون مشددة. Indeed, verily, no doubt. In the creation of the heavens and the earth, and difference between the night and day is a clear sign for those who ponder and reflect. So let's go to that ayah. Think. Well, what does the day and the night represent? It's your life. Every night and the day is counting one down. You're really not counting up if you think about it. You're counting down. To what? There's an arrow has already been let go by the angel of death that is coming toward you. As a matter of fact, this is musibatul maut. You know what musibatul maut is? Musiba is a calamity, but there's another linguistic to it. Asaba is you actually aimed for something as a target. So musibatul maut, as if it's coming for you, la mahala, no way out. So as if you have a target on your back walking around that is coming, aiming for you, there is no way out. So I want you to think about it. Your night and a day is just like the life that goes up and it goes down. So you wake up in the morning and go back to sleep. So what's the relationship? Well, most of us, after you get up in the morning, you make up your bed. To do what? To be prepared to go back to sleep again tonight. And some of us control the temperature in a bedroom. I want you to think that your grave is the same. How many of us thought of actually making our grave, preparing it, or controlling the temperature in our grave, like we control the temperature in the bedroom, because you want to have a good night's sleep? And how many of us have actually thought about it, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you that every day and every night you're going through that, because the Quran says that وَالَّتِي لَمْ تَمُتْ فِي مَنَامِهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds back the souls. And if you're supposed to die, it will hold back. If not, it will give you your soul back. What do you think when you say when you go to sleep? You actually say, بِسْمِكَ رَبِّي وَضَعْتُ جَنْبِي وَبِسْمِكَ أَرْفَعُ. In your name, O Allah, I place my side, and in your name I raise it. Actually, you're supposed to say the shahada and you go to sleep on wudu, just in case. And when you wake up in the morning, what do you say? As a matter of fact, the last thing you say, آمنت بكتابك الذي أنزلت ونبيك الذي أرسلت. I believe in the book that you revealed and the message that you sent. As if you're saying, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. The first thing you're supposed to say when you wake up is what? Alhamdulillah الذي أحيانا بعدما أماتنا وإليه النشور. Praise is due to Allah. Praise is due unto Allah is what? The one that gave me life after death, and unto Him we're going to return. And some of it you're supposed to say, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. You know why? You say the shahada when you wake up. Because some of the scholars will tell you when you actually go in your grave, you think that you're going to sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, you think you'll be resurrected. Because in your grave, if you are righteous, may Allah make us among them, you will feel that you just took a slumber, even though thousands of years. When you're resurrected, you feel you just woke up. So you're used to say when you wake up, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. تبعث مع الموحدين. You will be sent or resurrected with the monotheists. Look at the beauty of the dhikr, the remembrance of Allah, and how it protects you in this life and in the hereafter. So when you came to this life, it's the same thing as you left this life. Have you ever gone to a mall and seen a young child being pushed by his parents or her parents in a trolley? But have you ever seen the sign is reversed? When we grow old, our children will push us on a wheelchair. Have you ever seen this picture when an old man sitting on a wheelchair and a young child looking at him in a trolley? And he's on a wheelchair? Isn't that amazing? The circle of life comes back around. So look at the similarities when you come to this life and when you leave this life. When you came to this life, you didn't see who gave you birth. When you leave this life, same. And when you came to this life, somebody made a noise. They're happy that you're here. And when you leave this life, somebody will make a noise. Somebody's saddened for your departure. And when you came to this life, the nurse will give you a shower. And when we leave this life, we will be given a ghusl. When you came to this life, after the nurse has given you a shower, you will be covered with a blanket. And after you leave this life, after the ghusl, we will be covered with a shroud. When you came to this life, you were given a birth certificate. When you leave this life, you will be giving a death certificate. Between the certificates, you will collect certificates. You graduate, you get a certificate. You buy your first car, you get a certificate. You get married now, you get another certificate. You buy a house to live in, you get another certificate. But the most important certificate of all that you will not see is your death certificate. Better than that is the one that will help you on Judgment Day, the certificate of the Shahada of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. How many will you get? 99 files on Judgment Day. Every file as far as your eyesight can see. And you will hear it. ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها وجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا. In Surah Al-Kahf that you're supposed to read every Friday. So you'll see, every file is written. 99 files is written. Everything you've done, minor or major. You'll see, what is this book? Nothing is left, nothing is omitted, minor or major. Everything is present. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will oppress none. So you think about it. What is the journey of the soul? Well, some of the scholars says our soul leaves our body from the toes. قُلُ الرُّوحِ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. We submit. The soul, no one knows the truth about it except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We only get what we are told. But even though the scholars, it's بَيْنَ جَنْبَيْكَ, it's in you, but you don't even know what it is. Isn't that amazing, Shaykh? وَقُلُ الرُّوحِ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. It's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the truth about it. But could you imagine if it leaves from the toes and it goes up to the top of your head? And some of them say that's the reason when your soul leaves your body, you actually follow it with your eyes as it leaves. What happens to your soul? What happens to your body? وَإِذَا النُّفُوسِ زُوِّجَتْ. You know some of the interpretation? You know وَإِذَا النُّفُوسِ زُوِّجَتْ? When your body is actually taken to the grave and your soul is gone up to be held accountable and comes back down and it's coupled back to your body into the grave to be held accountable. Amazing, wallahi. So I want you to remember this. It just takes a pulse of a heart, or a blink of an eye, or a last breath you take. And you will come from this dunya to the hereafter. Just like that. So think about a journey you take. You want to go down Toronto, or you want to go somewhere else on that? Going to Montreal. Or you want to go to Niagara Falls, nice big place. Greens, rivers, beautiful, nice falls. Or you go to the hustle and bustle downtown somewhere else. But on the highway, 401, it actually tells you, you're going east, you're going hustle and bustle. You're going west, you're going to this beautiful place. You've chosen to take the ramp that is going to the east, you're going to the hustle and bustle. But you end up in the east, you wanted to go to the west. But you end up downtown Toronto in the business district. You say, no, I want to go to Niagara. But you have actually seen a declaration on the ramp that says they will take you to Toronto, not Niagara Falls. And when you get there, it says, no, I don't deserve to be here. I want to go to Niagara. But you were the one that actually were on the driving wheel. You were the one that controlled. You got on that ramp. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. The ramp. Ashabul Jannah, may Allah make us among them, or Ashabul Nar, may Allah protect us from that. The owners, the possessors, the guardians, the dwellers of heaven, may Allah make us among them, or the dwellers of the hellfire, may Allah protect us from that. So think about it. What makes you make the decisions? Some of the scholars actually call the 8/3 what you will make the decision based on. Have you heard of the 8/3? Well, let me remind you. قل, it's called قل التلقينية. Tell them, O Muhammad, إن كان آباؤكم وأبناؤكم وإخوانكم وأزواجكم وعشيرتكم وأموال اقترفتموها وتجارة تخشون كسادها ومساكن ترضونها. Here's your 8. أحب إليكم. Here's your 3. من الله ورسوله وجهاد في سبيله. What's the consequences? Fat. It's called fat تعقيب. فتربصوا. Let me explain. Tell them, O Muhammad, Jazakallah khairan, may Allah quench your thirst from Hawd al-Kawthar. Talk among yourselves while I take a look. Tell them, O Muhammad, conditional, إن كان آباؤكم الأب والعلا والابن وإن دنا, your father and upwards, I'm proud I come from this lineage, yeah? And I'm into Tartushi Basha. Yeah, I come from, my father is blah blah blah, my mother is blah 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 blah. And don't mess with me, man. I know people that have swords and eagles and whatever. I'll put you behind bars. You won't even recognize you when you come out. Have you heard that before? Don't mess with me, man. You step on my toe, I'll sue you. قل إن كان آباؤكم وأبناؤكم الابن وإن دان. You know how many children I have? وإخوانكم, your brethrens, and Ashira, your tribe. Which tribe are you from? Well, you know, we're from the same country. No. Yeah, we're from the same country, man. But I'm from the north. I'm from the mountain. No, you're beneath me. You're in the valley. Are you in the east or the west? You know, I won't give you my daughter to marry because passé, you're sauvage. You know, do you have Gianni Versace, Giorgio Armani? What kind of car you driving, man? Isn't that amazing, Sheikh? The measuring stick. وَعَشِيرَتُكُمْ. Yeah, the azwaj, your lineage, and who you married. I got in touch. I married into this family now. And that money you hoard, and the businesses you fear of loss, and the houses you're holding on to are more beloved to you than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and striving for the sake of Allah. فَتَرَبَّصُوا. Then hold on, wait till Allah makes a judgment. So I'm gonna repeat them again. The 8 brothers and sisters, are they halal or haram? They're halal. The scholars will tell you the 8 are halal. So why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a choice? What does that mean? Well, if you make a decision based on what? The 8 come before the 3. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and your struggle, your striving. Give me an example. You know, buy a house. Halal or haram, it doesn't matter now, man. I'm buying a house. Come to Jum'ah. Well, my boss says you can't. You understand? So who comes before you? أَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهُ هَوَى. Who's more important to you? What's your priority? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you come here? What makes you actually come on a Friday night where you had so many choices? You could have been painting the town red, burning rubber. You can check out some, significant other from another mother. You can be bar hopping. You can do whatever it is that you wanted to do. A choice you make. So even though it's halal, Allah is telling you, but if they come before Allah and His Messenger and you're struggling to do the right thing, wait till you pay the price. Isn't it amazing? That's called the 8/3. So why are we afraid of death? So why is a dua is not accepted? Why, right? You see, some of the scholars will tell you because you knew Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you, but you worship somebody else. You worship the dollar or the boss or the spouse or the children. And you knew that the Quran was the word of Allah, but you did not follow it or heed the command. And you knew that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent by Allah, but you did not follow him. You knew the sunnah was the best way to follow in his footsteps, but you neglected it. And you knew that you were going to die and you did not prepare for it. And we pray janazah on so many people and we did not take heed to it. And we knew that we are going to leave this life one time, but we hold on to it. And we knew shaitan is our enemy, but we hold on to him. Isn't that amazing, Sheikh? Signs are always there. But when you go to work tonight or go to sleep tonight, I want you to look in the mirror. You look at yourself. You will see some receding hairlines that weren't there before. You will see some gray lines that wasn't there before. You will see some actually lines on your eyes. Maybe things that you can't see without, or things that you can't hear without. Or a noise you make when you get up. or even a louder noise when you sit down. A friend of yours was here last week or last month or last year. He's no longer there. Things change. أَوَلَمْ نُعَمِّرْكُمْ, have we not given you life? And those who ponder and reflect, وَجَاءَكُمُ النَّذِيرُ, and the warners come, تَذَكَّرَ فِيهِ مَنْ تَذَكَّرَ, those who actually remember, they heed to the message. You know what the Nadir? It's not just Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Nadir is just what I told you. The Nadir is a gray hair. The Nadir is everything that I mentioned as a list. That's the Nadir. That's a warning. Have you heard? Okay, people that don't even believe in Allah, they know two things are for sure. You know what they are? Death and taxes. You're right. Two things for sure. Even people that don't believe in Allah, they tell you that. Two things for sure. No way out. So, كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Every soul shall taste death. Says, what happens? حتى إذا جاء أحدهم الموت قال رب ارجعون لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت. Listen to this tafsir and some of the story of some of the righteous. When the death comes upon thee, you will say what? قال رب ارجعون. Oh Allah, give me one more chance. I want to go back. Some of the righteous used to have a grave in his home. His wife didn't even know about it. Don't do it. I mean, you're going to freak her out. I'm just telling you, some of the righteous used to have a grave in his home to remind himself. So he would say, Ha ana dha, here I am. He would go into the grave, he says, قال رب ارجعون. He will say that. رب ارجعون. Allah, give me one more chance. So he gets up, goes, Alhamdulillah, I've been given a chance. His ittaqillah fi yawm. Be conscious of Allah. Because one day you will go into your grave and you will say, Rabbi irji'un. Allah, take me back. You are here. Kalla. Nay. Have you ever thought about that, ya akhi? Subhanallah. Ajib wallahi. How we think about things. Even though every day and every night you go through your sleep, through your nights and a day, as one clock has gone over, one leaf is turned, one page is gone, one calendar page is out. You see, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud says, Wallahi, the day that the sun is risen upon and set, and I did not increase my righteous deeds or ilm, that's not a good day. That was their measuring stick. Amazing, Wallahi. So, if the soul is taken out, goes back to Allah subhanahu wa jalla fi ula, and you will see on the horizon the angels, either the angel of mercy or the angels of punishment. You will see them. Nobody else will. On the horizon. They'll be waiting for you. So you should ask yourself, which angels do you want to wait for you? And by the way, you will be one of two. عبد آبق من ربه, as if a slave has ran away from his master, or one that has actually left his family and friends for a long time and you're going back to your family and friends on Judgment Day. Have you heard? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you what? فَفِرُّوا. Did he say فَفِرُّوا min Allah? No. He said فِرُّوا إِلَى Allah. He says flee back to Allah. On the contrary, he didn't say flee away from Allah. You see, if you're afraid of someone in this dunya, what do? Do you run to them? No, you run away from them. If a cop is pulling you over, what do? Now you get to know Allah real quick, don't you? And you say, Ayatul Kursi, Allahumma jinnu, Allahumma kfini ma shaitan, ibtihal, munajah, qiyamul layl. And you promise, Ya Allah, nazr, Ya Allah. And you start saying the Quran, you start making the dua, and the dhikr, and now you become so good, so quick. Ya Rabb, let him blind. Ya Allah, let him crash. Let him die. Ya Allah, you say, ينسفها ربي نسفا. You say this jibal, you can ascend it asunder. Let him ascend asunder. Take him away, Ya Allah. Isn't that amazing, Sheikh? A cop, just a cop, man. He's telling you, you. Who, me? Yeah, you. Ajib. Wallahi, it's ajib. We're afraid of a human being that will die just like us. That goes to the bathroom just like us. Or even a judge in that room. Could you imagine you being now in a judge, in the front of a judge? You're either a defendant or the one you're prosecuted. Imagine you have a lawyer and witnesses, and somebody else is trying to nail you. And the judge now hears from both sides. Take a recess. All rise. He's coming back in. You hear the door open. A piece of paper will be handed to the judge to read from that jury. Handed back to your name is on it. It has 2 words or 1 word. Guilty or not guilty. Could you imagine? That's it. Now the envelope is being opened and your heart is going mile a minute, right? It's like a rabbit. Because your fate is going to be either behind bars or going back to your family. But really, it's a human being that is saying guilty or not guilty. But could you imagine a human being just like that? Could you imagine on Judgment Day, akhi? It's 50,000 years. When the sun leaves its orbit, comes close to your head, people will be drenched in their sweat, up to their ankles or up to their knees or up to their hips or up to their shoulders. And some of us, may Allah protect us from that, will be raising their head up just to be able to breathe. What would you do? When they come for you, bad boys. I'm talking to the youth in the audience. You know what I'm talking about. That's their language. They know what I'm talking about. Okay. But do you think you'll come back? Well, did you know that you will have wishes on Judgment Day? It's true. You'll have wishes. Have you heard of the word Ya laytani? Actually, there are 3 letters of the root. Layta, lam, ya, ta. What comes in the form? Let me take one at a time. There's a few. Ya laytani kuntu turaba. I wish I were what? Dust. Who said that? Actually, the scholars will tell you, the opinions, literally, Ahl al-Zahir, they say, I wish I was actually literally a dust, a speck of dust, nothing. Or the other ones it says, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect the animals, they will take the rights and infinite justice will be done. They're not accountable, obviously, but we know that if we are held accountable for the animals, you will know that not to take the cat and go, yeah, don't do that anymore, because you know a woman went to the hellfire for a cat, right? You know that. And a woman or a man went to heaven because they quenched the thirst of a dog. So be careful. We'll talk about these in details in the course, inshallah. But however, knowing that, Ya laytani kuntu turaba, like I wish I was a donkey, a monkey, any type of an animal, not a human being. Because Allah will say, Kunu turaba, be dust after the judgment is done. So, Ya laytani kuntu turaba, that's one of them. Or Ya laytani kuna ma'hum, fa'afuza fawzan azima. I wish I were them, the righteous crowd. I wish I'd done the struggle and the strive, the proper path, so I could be with them, not with the other ones. So I'll be a great triumph, the true winning on Judgment Day. What else? Ya laytani kuntu nasyan mansiya, but that's in the positive, believe it or not. On Maryam, because the scholars will say that Maryam actually did not want to be remembered, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made her honored on that above all of women, because she had sincerity that she did not want to be mentioned. But he says, يَوْمَ يَعَضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي exactly لَمْ أَتَّخِذْ فُلَانًا خَلِيلًا. هذا عقبة بن أبي معيط عليه من الله ما يستحق. What happened? Well, he was invited by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to come and join him. You know, Prophet sallallahu says, no, unless you become a Muslim. He invited Rasulullah, come and join us for dinner. No. He was trying to do what? Like Hamza radiallahu anhu. It's a long story, but just we'll stay with him for now. So he said, no, I will not become. He says, okay, I'm not coming. So he invited him again, because it's a shame for you to invite and then they accept. So he says, conditional. He says, no, for the 3rd time he accepted. Okay, I'm a Muslim. Are you happy now? Come to dinner. He said, okay, I accept. His friend heard. Yeah, very bad friend. He heard, I heard that you became a Muslim. So he says, wajhi ala wajhika haram. It's forbidden for me to be your friend unless you go back and do something nasty to this man and come out of the fold of Islam. So he had to make a decision, a choice he had to make. So, what decisions do you have to make with your friends, brothers and sisters, especially the young in the audience? So let me help you out with 3, okay, before I move on. It's kind of important. So if we take a few things at least from this lecture, this is one of them. So they tell you, the company you keep will actually help you in this road and in hereafter. So tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. So who are your friends, man? Well, I have Tutu, Mimi, Lulu, Fifi and Susu. Ya salam, mashallah, what a beautiful company you have, ya Sheikh. Habibi ya Fanannas. Beautiful, mashallah. What happened to Abdullah, Abdul Rahman, and so on? Like, listen, I know there's some brothers called Abdullah and Abdul Rahman and they're the worst. I know that. I'm just talking about the connotation of that, righteous company. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 characteristics of a company you should have. If you have them, hold on to them. If you don't have them, fire them. Get these 3. First one, إِذَا رَأَيْتَهُ ذَكَّرَكَ بِاللَّهِ رُؤْيَتُهُ. If you see them, they remind you of Allah. For example, you haven't prayed Asr yet, you see Sheikh Hassan, Allahu Akbar, haven't prayed Asr yet. إِذَا رَأَيْتَهُ ذَكَّرَكَ بِاللَّهِ رُؤْيَتُهُ. If you see them, they remind you of Allah right away. Number 2, دَلَّكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ حَالُهُ. The way they act, the way they behave, the way they talk, the way they dress, the way they walk, the way they do everything, it will guide you to the straight path of Allah. They're like a walking pulpit, a living Quran and Sunnah. Number 3, زَادَكَ إِيمَانًا مَنْطِقُ. When they speak, your iman gets a shot in the arm. Iman boost. They remind you of heaven, hell, the truth about life, what's waiting for you, consciousness of Allah, the Quran and the Sunnah. Your iman increases when they speak to you. So if you have that type of a friend, hold on to them. If you don't, look for one of them. But where do you find them? In the masajid. So if that's the case, what else do we have to do? Ya laytani. Yeah? What happens? You will actually wish for a few things. First is the one, قَالَ رَبِّ يَرْجِعُونَ, as we mentioned. Will you be granted that wish? No. أَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ. They will not come back. You cannot come back. Alright? What else would you wish for? Allahu Akbar. I wish I was not even anything. Nothing. What else? There's more. On Judgment Day you have wishes. One more wish, Ya Shaykh, you say. One wish, you will actually say, Ya Malik, يقضي علينا ربك. Who is Malik? He's the guardian, the custodian of the hellfire, Jahannam. He will tell him what? Ya Allah, O Malik, let your Lord kill us, that's it. We don't want to feel any more pain. Will you be granted that wish? No, you won't be granted that wish. Actually, the scholars will tell you the answer will come in thousands of years. In others, اخسأوا فيها ولا تكلمون. You're not even permitted to speak. Okay. What other wish do you have? فليخفف عنا يومنا. Okay, we now know that we're not going to die. That's it. The request is denied. And now it's okay, just give us one day off. Like you created a union, you got together, we want one day off, man. Unfair or unfit working environment. Do you think that will fly? Maybe here in this dunya. Not on the hereafter. So, he says, أَفِيضُ عَلَيْنَا. Give us some water, man. Yeah, but look, if this dunya, ذُبَابَ جَنَاح بَعُوضَ, it would have given you, but it doesn't mean anything to Allah. Do you see the wishes? So here you go. Why am I telling you this? I want you to imagine on that day, your name will be called. أين فلان ابن فلان هلم للعرض على الجبار. Where is so? The son of so. You summon them. Bring them to me. وقفوهم إنهم مسؤولون. Stop them. They will be asked. You know when does that come? People think and they worry about what? They worry about what will people say. Isn't that true? We worry a lot about what will people say. But you know what the scholars will tell you? What will people say after you're gone, Sheikh? About you. First thing they will say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. When you're gone, that's what they will say. They will say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So why worry about it? So he actually asked him. The scholar says, do you know what you just said? He translated the meaning. He says, no, it's not that. Is what you said means, if you knew you were created, that means you know that you will die. And if you knew that you're going to die, that means you know that you will be buried. If you know that you'll be buried, that means you know that you'll be resurrected. If you know that you're going to be resurrected, that means you will be summoned by Allah. And if you know that you will be summoned and stand in front of Allah, وَقِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ, stop them, they will be asked, and you better know that you will be asked question. And if you know that you're going to be asked questions, then you better prepare the answer for the questions. So how much would you give to come back to this life? You know what the scholars say? Most of us will give anything. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه. You will run away from your whole family, your spouses, everything you're running from. Everyone has I have a bigger problem, man. But al-akhilla, your righteous friends, they will help you. But what is the story? يود المجرم. You wish يفتدي لو يفتدي that you will ransom that day from everything that you have. You will give up everything just to be able to be saved. How much would you pay that day to come back here? Everything, bottom line. So guess what? أنت في هذه الأمنية. You are actually living this dream. You're living in the wish that whatever it is that you wished for in the hereafter to come back, you're here. Your chance is granted. Don't blow it, because you won't get it back. Now let's go a little further on the journey, because the time is running. What time is Asha, Sheikh Hassan? 9:30. Okay. So I'll leave some chance, inshallah, to answer questions. So now we're resurrected. Your grave. You know why Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anh used to cry when he heard about the grave? He said, because I heard Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the grave is the first stage in the hereafter. إن كان يسيرا فما بعده أيسر وإن كان عسيرا فما بعده أعسر. If it was difficult, if it was easy, what comes after it is easier. What if it was difficult, what comes after it is more difficult. That's why he used to think about it. What makes your grave a piece of heaven, not a piece of hell? Have you done your homework? All right. Do you know what 3 questions are? You will be asked 3 questions, brothers and sisters. Anyone help me out? What are the 3 questions that you'll be asked for in the grave? Which is the first one? Man Rabbuk. Very good. Number 2? ما دينك ومن نبيك ماذا تقول في رجل بعث فيكم. Very good. Who is your Lord? What is your way of life? And who is your prophet? Does it make any sense, brothers and sisters? You're supposed to say this dua 3 times a day, answering this question. Who can tell me that? I don't have candy. Do you know about your cuts? We're poor but proud people. But maybe... Okay, that's one. Ahsan Sheikh. But there's another one. Allahu Akbar. Answers exactly the questions. The 4 things you seek protection from, you're absolutely right, Sheikh, just before the end of the salah. Now Ibn Uthaymeen rahmatullahi alayhi says, dubur salah, dubur meaning the rear end of it, right? So he says that dubur is attached. So he says, dubur al-himar, like you see the rear end of a donkey, is not running behind the himar, not behind the donkey, it's attached to the himar. So his opinion is to say it before you make taslim. And some opinion says after taslim. Either or, inshallah, may Allah protect us, and that's what we're going to discuss, how to protect yourself. Will Allah protect us from the hellfire, protect us from the punishment of the grave, protect us from the test in this life and hereafter, and protect us from the biggest fitna. Which is the biggest fitna? The Dajjal, the Antichrist. You're right. Very good. Now, but the brother is right. You're supposed to say, رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبَّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَمُحَمَّدٍ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ نَبِيًّا وَرَسُولًا. Do you see any resemblance there, akhi? You see that? I accept Allah to be my Lord, Islam to be my way of life, and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to be my prophet and messenger. That's the answer for the three questions. But if you lived according to the Quran, when Munkar wa Nakir ask you in the grave, by the way, you'll be on your own. You will not hear this da 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 da. There's no lights coming through. And you will not have this, can I call a friend? Can I poll the audience? Is this my final answer? You're on your own, dude. Yeah? But what is the key? Who can give me the key in the Quran that will help you? Now, it's not fair to ask, and I know that. And it's like Friday night, you know what that means, right? Like your brain is fried already. I mean, I've been working for like a whole week, dude. I mean, I see your lips moving, and I hear a noise coming out. I have no clue what you're talking about. And I get that deer, you know, get the puppy look. Huh? All right? يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ويفعل الله ما يشاء. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you steadfast to be able to say La ilaha illallah before you die. That's the qawl thabit. You'll be able to answer the questions in the grave. You'll be able to answer the questions in the hereafter. So if you said Rabbi Allah, steadfast, because I knew the Quran, I knew Allah, Sifat, al-Asma, and all of that, Rububiyyah, Uluhiyyah, and all of that, the Lordship and the Godhood, I knew it, solid. Who's asking you, who's your Lord? Rabbi Allah, no hesitation. If you don't know anything about Allah, the Quran, or anything else, la adri, la darit, wa la talit. Had no idea, no recitation, no knowledge. What happens? Number two, what's your way of life? If you lived according to Islam, you'll say, my deen is Islam. I followed the Sunnah of Rasulullah, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Otherwise, you don't know the Sunnah, you don't know anything about it, no clue. Sometimes I actually ask the young in the audience, who are the 10 Ashara Mubashara in Jannah? And most of them will give me the 4, the Khulafa radiallahu anhum ajma'in. But the rest, tashash, yani, ya sheikh, yani. I tell them, okay, give me, who's Maradona? Who's Madonna? I'm going to say Maradona, the soccer. Who is Ronaldo? Who's? And they will tell you everything about it. Their favorite color, what they like to have for breakfast, everything. They got them down packed, man. So it's just a quick reminder. Wallahi, I don't want you to make you feel bad. I just want to remind you. That's all. Cool? Okay. So now I know that there are something other 4 questions on the hereafter. What are the 4 questions in the hereafter, brothers and sisters? Help me out. We already talked about the 3 in the grave. May Allah give us tabat. Would Allah grant you the steadfast, the yield to be able to say the answer to the questions before you die, and answer a question in the grave and the hereafter. That's what this is, according to you. But what's the condition? الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who believe in what? The unseen, and the unknown. That's it. You got that? That's the iman. So now 4 questions in the hereafter. Anybody knows what the 4 questions are? Okay, very good. One of them. So he says, لا تزول قدم عبد حتى يسأل عن أربع. You will not be moved when your name is called. Yeah, he will ask you 4 questions.
What did you do with your body?
Very good. One of them, body or youth.
How did you earn your money and how did you spend it?
من أين اكتسبه وفيما أنفقه? How did you earn your money and how did you spend it? في عمره فيما أبلاه. Right? What have you done with your life? What have you done with your knowledge? Ahsant. Very good. I want you to remember these 4. Can you see any similarities to anything? I know this is tough stuff. Wallahi, I know. Like I see the steam coming out of your hair. Wasn't there other 4 things that resemble this? Remember when I gave you the example between the beginning and the end? Think. I'll give you a hint. 120 days. That's all I can tell you. 120 days, root cause minus divide plus 2. Where's the calculator? Give me the iPad, man. What do you, we don't do anything. 120 days. What is one hadith that talks about 120 days? What is it? Okay, of conception. In the womb of your mother, 4 things are written. Can you help me out? What are the things that are written in the womb of your mother? 120 days, man. 4 months. الرزق. What else? عمر. Happy or sad? I'll explain that. One more. Amal. Good for you. You understand? Do you see here? Do you see any resemblance here, Shaykh? Isn't that amazing? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guaranteed two things that you worry so much about. Your lifespan and your rizq. The scholar says this, one of the biggest gifts that Allah has given you. So you don't have to worry about it. So if it's written already, why am I held accountable for? Well, now I have to go into a little bit of aqeedah. The scholars will tell you, علم الله سابق ليس سائق. The infinite wisdom and the knowledge of Allah is not a driven fact, but it's exceeding your actions and deeds. Number two is لا يؤاخذكم الله بالشهوات ولكن في تصريفها, which means Allah does not hold you accountable for your whims and desires, but how you act accordingly. Let me now explain. So in Allah's infinite knowledge and wisdom, everything is already written 50,000 years ago, al-qalam, right? Everything is decreed, it's already written. But it is the infinite wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and knowledge that actually knew everything that's going to happen before it happens. But it's for us to pass the test, for us as a test in this life. So it doesn't drive you to do something bad. So Allah إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ. Allah tells you do everything that's good and tells you not to do everything that's bad. I'll give you an example, inshallah. Now, the second one explains it. Allah does not hold you accountable for your whims and desires, but how you act accordingly. For example, you're thirsty. Does that Allah hold you accountable for you feeling thirsty? No. Speaking of that, speak to yourself again. Okay, if you're thirsty, Allah does not hold you accountable for that, but He holds you accountable when? What you drink. You drink water according to Sunnah and so on, you get thawab. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, bismillah, alhamdulillah, bismillah, sit down and so on. Yeah. Now, you drink alcohol. Exactly. You know Allah, listen, He gave you gazillion type of juices and gazillion type of drinks. He told you only one thing you should not drink. Alcohol. No. I'm going to leave all these drinks. I'm going to drink only that one that I'm not allowed to drink. But it's not good for you, man. You understand? So, you being thirsty, you're not held accountable for that. But how you act according to your thirst, that you were held accountable for, that's your choice. You understand that part? You have no choice of your whims and desires. جُبِلْتَ عَلَى هَذَا. You were created that way. Alright, you get hungry. Now if there's a biryani, that's a fitna, right? How do you كيف تغض النظر يعني? How do you lower your gaze when you have biryani, Shaykh? It's very difficult. That's a fitna for me, يعني. Especially when I discovered Nahari. Allahu Akbar. Yani, mashallah, tabarakallah. You know, my wife used to get jealous, wallahi, when I Friday night. She would know. She would smell your breath. Eat, and you have to eat because now she will know that you've eaten biryani in the masjid. Okay. Now when you get hungry, does Allah hold you accountable when you feeling hungry? No. What you eat, same thing. If you eat halal, alhamdulillah. If you eat haram, you understand? That's what He held accountable. Alright, let me talk to your language now. Brothers, you have some hormones jumping up and down your body, driving you nuts. Right? So, does Allah hold you accountable for that? You being moved. Your emotions are, Sister Susu, ya salam. And you say, Sheikh, I'm in love with Sister Susu. I see, بشوف وشها في صحن الفول, like Sheikh Wajdarnim used to say. I see her face in the cereal bowl, man. I can't concentrate. I can't go to school. I go Sister Susu. Why? See, Sheikh, my heart is aching. My knees are shaking. It's true, I ain't faking. She doesn't eat bacon. Huh? Where'd that come from, man? Okay. So now, you have some emotions, especially the young amongst us, right? Does Allah hold you accountable for you feeling that way? No. But when are you held accountable? Well, you get married, you get rewarded, according to Hadith. Every time you have intimate relations, you get rewarded. But if you do the same act outside of wedlock, what happens? Punished. Now, do you understand the formula? Okay, clear. Alhamdulillah. So the four things that are actually written in the womb of the mother, the four things that you're held for in the hereafter. Subhanallah, ajib. Your life is going to ask you, what have you done with your life? Your rizq, where did you get it from and how did you spend it? You understand? The things that's guaranteed for you, we worry about so much. That's one favor that Allah has done for us, among others. Guaranteed things for us. So think about the transitions and the comparison. And where do you go? Because of time, let's cut to the chase. It takes 2 days to explain this, by the way. So we'll just go through it quickly, inshallah. Okay. So I'm now standing in front of Allah, and you hear, this is the ayah I want to start. Wallahi, the course was actually built on 3 ayat. Among them, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara waquduha an-nasu wal hijara. Usually when I ask the brothers, what's your first responsibility, akhi? Tell you put food on the table, clothes on their back, roof over their head. I go, that's fine. That's among them. But I'm telling you, your first responsibility as a man is Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara waquduha an-nasu wal hijara. O you who believe, protect yourself and your family from a hellfire. The fuel, it's the human beings and the stones that used to worship. Who wants to be a winner? We all want to be winners, right? Okay, give me a definition of winners, please. What's your definition of a winner? Oh, the guy with the Johnny Versace, Giorgio Armani, the Beamer top down, man. He's got a Swiss bank account, private jet. He's got... No? Allah yaftah alayk. Okay, the definition of the winners in the Quran, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عن النار وأدخل الجنة فقد فاز. That's the definition of the winners according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. Those, it's actually mabni al-majhul, it's in the third person. فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ. Those who were actually pushed away from the hellfire. وَأُدْخِلَ. And they were granted permission to enter Jannah. فَقَدْ فَاز. That's the true winners. We all want to be winners. So let's talk about those two for now and we'll finish with that inshallah. Hellfire. So we say, عرفت الشر لا للشر لكن لتواقيه ومن لم يعرف الشر من الخير وقع فيه. I want to know evil because I want to know evil? No, I want to know evil because I want to stay away from evil. And if you don't know the difference between the evil and good, you will fall into it. That's what this means. So the brother, what he said, in the end of every salah, you're supposed to say this. Oh Allah, protect us from the hellfire, protect us from the punishment in the grave, these 4 things. And protect us from the test in this life and hereafter, and from the test of the Antichrist, the Dajjal. So you have already certain things that you're able to protect yourself from that. And this inshallah will give you the clue at least. But let's talk about the hellfire. May Allah protect us from it. And we'll finish with the positive inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about heaven and hell so much in the Quran. He's telling you, this is a nasty place. This is a nasty place. Don't go there. It's fuel like this. They're darakat. They're ranks. The Jannah darajat, hellfire darakat, meaning the level up and level down. By the way, the lightest hellfire is what? Yeah, Jannah, the first level. There are how many? 7. And every time you go one layer down, how hot is that? 70 times hotter than the one above it. Every level you go down is 70 times hotter than the one above it. But what's the lightest one? The lightest fire is like 70 times hotter than the hottest fire on earth. You've seen these Discovery channels and National Geographic when they get the volcanoes and molten lava and the sun, that heat, all of that stuff. 70 times hotter than the hottest fire on earth. That's the lightest one. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to inform you. That's all. Now there was a stone that they heard. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ heard, and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in. They were all sitting and they heard a thud, a bang. He says, the Sahaba wondered, he said, what is that? He says, Prophet ﷺ said, did you hear that? He says, yes. Look at the shafafiyah, right? MashaAllah, transparency that they had. Pure. He says, this is a rock that was thrown in a fire 70 years ago. It just reached the pit now. Just in case you're wondering, I can take this. I can take the heat. I've been training. I've been working out, man. I can take it for you, no problems. You can't. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ. So I'll just give you a little bit of it. It's difficult. Very tough to talk about it. Wallahi, it's difficult for the heart to take. So just as an example, but then I will tell you what brought you here and how to protect yourself from now. Just for now. ما سلككم في سقر قالوا لم نكن من المصلين. Number one on the rank. What brought you to this miserable place is below. It's not Jahannam. It's Saqar. Down, further down. What brought you here? Number one on the list. قالوا لم نكن من المصلين ولم نكن نطعم المسكين وكنا نخوض مع الخائضين. They said we were not praying. We did not pray. Let's talk about this for now. Just one, because it's kind of important. Okay. So, usually, you get a lot of excuses, right, Akhi? My man, why are you not praying, man? Most of the time, they've got excuses. Sheikh, يعني أنا مسافر. I'm traveling. Okay, that's cool. Okay, as-salat al-ruba'iyya, every 4 rak'at, you make it into 2. And combine, you have a permission to combine dhuhr wal asr and maghrib wal isha. Sheikh, but there's no masjid. I got you now. He says, that's okay, Sheikh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Prophet says, جُعْلَتِ الْأَرْضِ لِيَ مَسْجِدًا وَطَهُورًا. This whole earth is made to a masjid for Rasulullah. No problems. He says, I don't have my iPhone, it doesn't work here. Sheikh, I cannot get the qibla. That's okay. أينما تولوا فتم وجه الله. You do your best to find out where the qibla is, then you pray. There's no water. I got you now. That's okay. What happens? فتيمموا صعيدا خلاص. You can make tayammum, dry ablution. Or hands, face. You're good. Isn't that amazing? Allah made it easy. Oh, I can't stand up. Sit down. I can't sit down. Lie down. I can't lie down. Move your head. I can't move my head. Move your eyes. I can't move my eyes. Just think about it in your brain. I can't think about it in my brain. You're dead. Don't worry about it. You're not held accountable then. Oh, excuses, other excuses. Of course, you get this. Sheikh, I was a rich person, yani. I have the yen is up, the dollar is down. I have places to go, people to see, things to do. I gotta travel, man. I have no time for this stuff. Okay, cool. And other ones will say, Sheikh, I was such a good-looking guy. I was so good looking. I couldn't keep the girls off me, man. Dude, I mean, I walk down the street, the girls go, ah. They were just passing out as I'm walking by. Fitna for me, Sheikh. What am I gonna do, yani? I tried. Okay, what happens on Judgment Day? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you. First thing you say, what's the first thing you want to be accountable for? Is your prayer. Salah. If you finish it, move on. You not finish it, can't go anywhere. Can't get the visa. No pass. Exactly. There's a hurdle. You have to pass. But you have to finish it. Where are you going to have to finish it? 2 opinions. One is that you will be prostrating on a stone from the hellfire. Or you will be actually praying in the hellfire. You still have to pray. You're not off the hook. You still have to pray. SubhanAllah. So you have a choice to pray in a nice, lovely, air-conditioned room or waliyadu billah on the other side. Your choice. So people say, Ya Allah, I was rich. Like we talked about. Okay, are you richer than Sulaiman alayhi salam? No one was. Okay, that was not going to work. Here comes another one. Then the second person says he knows now that the rich will not take him off the hook. I was poor. I was so poor. I didn't have anything. So are you poorer than Isa alayhi salam? He used to say, the heaven is my cover and the bed is my earth, the earth is my bed. No. Here comes another one. Why do I say that? It's like you know when you go to sleep tonight, brothers, you're gonna have this nightmare. If you're not gonna wake up for Fajr, you're gonna hear this. Allahu Akbar. I'm gonna pray now. Yeah, it's word association is called. So you can relate to it. Alright? So that doesn't work. And the other one says, I was so good looking. Are you more beautiful? Anta andar min Yusuf. Are you more useful or more beautiful than Yusuf alayhi salam? Utiya shatr al-jamal. He was given half the beauty of creation, not just men. Yeah, no. But before you answer, please look at yourself in the mirror, just in case I'm the man. Yeah, sure. You the man and everything. Okay, cool. But it's not going to take you off the hook. So now, what is the excuse? You got every excuse in town. There's no excuse. As a matter of fact, Allah made it so easy for you. Now, of course, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَوَيْلٌ الْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَهُونَ. Wail is a valley in hellfire for those who are neglectful of the prayer. They still pray, but they're neglectful. You know what that means? They're supposed to pray Asr. They watch the sunset just before it sunsets with no reason. Let me catch Asr. There's a punishment for that if you delay the prayer for none. But could you imagine if you don't pray? Allahu Akbar. So we learned something. Whatever happens, you're going to have to pray. Okay? Now let's go on the other side. May Allah protect us from the hellfire. Let's go to Jannah. Ya salam. Now we can take our time a little bit. Okay? Take your time. Ya salam. Our sisters listening to this? Oh, we can't talk about the Huraira. Sorry, brothers. No, we can, inshallah. Don't worry about it. But with restrictions, if it's the boys' club, we can talk, yani. But rifqan bil qawarir. Because the sisters get very jealous and we get the question all the time. If the brothers get the Huraira, what do we get? Ya ukhti, wallahi, like Dr. Amr Kafi says, خش انت الجنة الأول. The sisters are always watching this. My dear sister, yani first, guarantee yourself to go to Jannah. Don't worry about us, just worry about yourself. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never let you down. And He will never deny any request from you. Isn't that amazing? In Surah Qaf, what does it say? لَهُمْ مَا يَشَاءُونَ فِيهَا وَلَدَيْنَا مَزِيدٌ. Anything you wish for, you will be granted. And we have more. I'll explain that in the end, inshallah. So let's talk about Jannah. Ya salam. Don't you feel like already? Don't you feel better already, man? We talk about Jannah. Forget, not even, we don't have to go to Huraira, because you see, why? Allah speaks your language. You see? What do most brothers want? Don't tell me. I know. We're trying to keep this a family show, inshallah. I get some young kids here in the audience. Allah musta'an. Children, not kids. So, Allah speaks your language. Everybody wants a big, beautiful house, waterfront, gardens, fruit and all that. So He speaks your language. جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار فواكه النساء لحم طرية مما يشتهون غير ممنوعة ولا مقطوعة أنهار من لبن عسل مصفى خمر غير آسن. Everything that you wish for, subhanallah. You want to drink? Habibi, no, I give you rivers, but non-toxicating. Yeah? Beautiful drinks. You know the honey. Rivers. Milk. You know the milk? Actually, remember the milk when it used to be milk? Remember this long time ago we used to actually get milk from the cow. Now we get it from some water that is dipped in milk. Yeah, it's like they dip a little bit of milk and they tell you this, here you go, milk. No. Rivers of real milk. Rivers of honey, rivers of pure, everything. Wells, fudge, blast, beautiful. And it's beneath your house. Don't think about it with your own mind here, because they're not the same. They're not the same. Yeah. Who thinks that of a fruit that will be sufficient for your whole tribe? Who would think of that? Who would think of the fruit that will actually change? The color will change, the taste will change. Same fruit. But Allah has given you something that you can actually relate to. It's the same thing, but different taste. Yes. You will never go old again. How much will you pay for that? Sisters pay anything. You know, a cream, this will take 10 years off your life. $100, no problems. And they will actually do what? You know, they put the thing back on, and then they put the cucumber thingies on, or the tea bags, right? And you go watch your wife with the face mask on, with the towel that looks like Maggie Simpson, you know, the typhoon looking thingy, because they just took a shower, and then and you go inside, you go, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim." Who are you and what have you done with my wife? Well, I'm trying to take 10 years off my life, honey. It's for you. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You're out $100, honey. We just lost $100. Nobody takes 10 years away from you. They're lying to you. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كَوَاعِبَ أَطْرَابًا. 33 years old. You're never going to get old. You know the kawa'ib, how do you explain this? Let's say gravity will never take effect. You don't have to worry about gravity over there, ukhti. Yeah. And every time, imagine enough, back to being as if it's the first time. Isn't that amazing? A man will be given the power of 100 men. Do you imagine? You don't need pills in the hereafter. No. And by the way, Allah subhanahu wa jalla is promising you much more. Can you imagine something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will invite you one day? Yeah, Ibadur Rahman, may Allah make us among them. This is now Ma'idatul Rahman. Allah will invite you. Food that you haven't seen in the Jannah. Or drinks you haven't seen in the Jannah. Now, could you imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will invite you. He says, what do you want? He says, Ya Allah, you protect us from the hellfire, grant the Jannah. What else do we want? He says, no, ask more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will be pleased with you, never be displeased with you again. وَرَضْوَانُ مِنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ. Do you want some more? Well, you have to go back to the ayah. لَدَيْنَا مَزِيد. By the way, sisters, this is for you. I talk to the brothers. Let me talk to sisters now. Do you know that there's actually shopping in the hereafter? Listen, I spoke your language, you have to speak their language. Listen, the hadith said that every Friday, did you know that? Every Jumu'ah, there's a marketplace. But do you have to take your credit card with you? No. Bismika Allahum, that's your magic word. Yeah, it's free. Do you believe it? Well, not free. There's a down payment. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh bihaqqiha. That's your visa. That shopping mall, by the way, anything you wish for, but by the time, every time the scholar will tell, every Friday you come back, more beautiful than before. Isn't that amazing? Ukhti, you like gold, don't you? Of course you do. You know that palm tree, the trunk of a tree on Jannah is made of what? Gold. Isn't that amazing? You know, some of the scholars will tell you, according to one hadith, when Prophet ﷺ was asked the man, you know, will we get the clothes? He said, you know what? The fruit of the tree will be garments you wear. Could you imagine, ukhti, a tree that will come with a fruit of garment? And some of the scholars will tell you that the garment you wear will change the color as you're wearing it. And the color that changes will never come back again. How much would you pay for that dress, ukhti? You live happily ever after. You will never grow old. You will never be sick. You will never have sorrows. You will never have to say so long to anyone. No death, no illness, no sadness, no sorrows, no bankruptcy, no work, no taxes, no boss, no no nagging, nothing. Isn't that amazing? The sisters will have a beautiful voice. They will be 70 times hotter. Even some of the opinions that this is a hadith is weak, but the Hur al-Ain would be their maids. Do you believe it? The sisters would be looking better than the Hur al-Ain. The Hur al-Ain, Shaykh, this is ummula. You know the tarf? Just a part of the finger. If you it's exposed to a dark night, it will turn it into light as the light is day. If they spit in a salty ocean, they will turn it into soft water. Isn't that amazing? The sisters will look better than them, and these Hur al-Ain will be their maidens. They will be their... Subhanallah, ajib. So what is the ultimate? لَهُمْ مَا يَشَاءُونَ فِيهَا. Anything you wish for. For example, you see a beautiful bird. Ya salam, law kan da mashwi. Oh, Allahu Akbar, if I can get this bird barbecued. It's barbecued. You eat it. Why? Because you're hungry? No, because hunger is a form of pain. There's no pain in Jannah. You drink because you're thirsty? No, you drink because it's ladhat, because you want to eat something that tastes good, and you want to drink something that tastes good, because not because you're thirsty, because the thirst is a form of pain. So you eat whatever you want, you drink whatever you want, and after you eat that bird, flies back out again. There's no death in Jannah. Now you're full? Oh no. You have to go to the bathroom? No, it's here. It evaporates like a beautiful mosque. It's not like somebody cut the cheese. Slightly different. I know you're giggling because evaporates is slightly different here than there. Yeah, it's like an aroma, a beautiful mosque aroma. That's what the hadith says. Imagine that. Finally, he says, "Lahum ma yasha'una fiha wa ladayna mazid." What is the mazid, brothers and sisters? Allah yaftah alayk ya Shaykh. To be able to see the magnificent face of Allah in the way befitting His Majesty. There's nothing better than that. And that's where we're going to leave it, inshallah. There's only 9 minutes left. So I'm going to ask Allah subhanahu wa jalla fi'ala to make us among those who listen to speech and follow the best of it. Show us what is wrong as wrong, to stay away from it. And show us what is right as right, and to go after it. And make us among those who attain Jannah and stay away from the hellfire. Ameen. And I ask Allah, as He gathered us here in the dunya, to gather us with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with no accountability, to be able to see His magnificent face again before His Majesty. آمين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على آله وصحبه والتابعين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله عنا خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Any questions? No? Great.